It's the masculine role fading in relationships. Yes, it is. And I'm here to tell you why. The masculine role has been fading in relationships for a while. And the main reason is because of the way that women are raised nowadays. I'm telling you, this is the standpoint. This is where everything starts. The way that women are raised nowadays is the main contributor. Well, probably not the main contributor, but one of the main contributors to the reason as to why the masculine role is fading nowadays. I'm telling you, if you have a girl or if you had a girlfriend, right, and you met her parents, I bet you've noticed her father is not the strongest male role model. And it's essentially, most of the time anyway, the mother that's the one making all the decisions, the one who's calling the shots. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you will eventually. I'm telling you, this is the main reason. If you have a girl who's trying to call all the shots, make the decisions, run the relationship, it is because of the environment that you was raised in. Women are very, very easily influenced by the people closest in their life. The first two people to influence her are going to be her mother and her father, if she has a father figure at all. If you're dating a woman with no father figure, well, good luck with that roller coaster. But essentially, for women with two parents, actually, if the dynamic of the relationship isn't the male, the head of the household, yet a partnership, an equal partnership, which it should never be. I'm telling you, that's a recipe for disaster. We're going to come across a person in the beginning who may portray themselves as docile, agreeable, easily influenced, not like in a weird way, but like more so a person who's trying to get with your program, a person trying to enter your world. It's not going to be that. That's a trial period. It's going to end very abruptly. You're going to be wondering what happened along the way. I'm telling you. Eventually you start to notice a shift in behavior, in her patterns, in the way she treats you. I've been there myself, literally in one of my relationships. The beginning was amazing. The beginning is always going to be amazing. The honeymoon phase, of course, everyone knows that. The beginning stages, top tier. That's what you always want though. That's what you want to like just continue on. Of course, things calm down over time, but as time goes on, you're either going to be loved correctly or you're not. She's either going to treat you like a man or she's not. She's either going to run over you or she is not, or she's going to attempt to. And if she attempts to, that's when you call it quits. You don't put up with that behavior. Like I was saying before, in one of my previous relationships, the beginning stages were amazing. Eventually, over time, anyway, a lot of things started to happen to where I noticed these small increments of, I guess you would say, disrespect, those small jokes that weren't really jokes or jabs, whatever, just to see what they can get away with. That is something that you don't put up with. That is something that you want to get away from. That is something that's going to open the door to more and more unacceptable behavior. You want to get away from that as soon as possible. Don't put up with it. Don't don't put up with it. Don't ignore it. Shut that down immediately. I guess you can say the main thing I'm trying to get across right now is that most men accept the bad behavior. And once you accept the bad behavior, they are going to run their relationship. And let me tell you why. It's because you're showing that you don't have self respect. If you can't respect yourself, she's not going to respect any decision that you make. Trust me, girls can sniff this out. They know when they can run over you. I can show you a few clips right now. They know when they can run over you in their relationship. It is because you lack self respect. You need to stand up for yourself. Men accept bad behavior way too often. You need to understand that when something happens that, that just questions your dignity and self respect as a man, then they're going to act accordingly. I'm telling you, if you're ever in a situation to where, let's say your woman gets into some disrespectful confrontation with another man and you let her handle that, it's going to be the same thing. It's like protecting and providing. You don't let a woman feel the masculine role ever, no matter what it is, ever, or it's going to degrade your role in the relationship. You need to be a man who puts his foot down when you make a decision. You don't want to have this partnership, this quote unquote partnership, where the woman is actually like the leader of the household and the man is subservient. The partnership, right? It's not a partnership. The woman is literally controlling and running the man and the household, making all the decisions. Don't let yourself be put in that kind of trap. Don't let yourself be with this kind of woman. It's going to ruin your life. I promise you. There are people who are married in this situation. They can't get divorced or they'll be financially ruined. But like I said before, marriage amplifies. If they were being treated this way in the relationship, which I'm sure they were to some extent, it only amplified it. The bumbling fool. like in sitcoms, the bumbling fool, like in sitcoms, right? It's a stereotype, but it's a stereotype for a reason. Stereotypes portray reality. Stereotypes portray reality. It's because that these things actually happen in real life. Don't let yourself be one of these men stuck in these relationships to where your role is being degraded so much to the point where now you're subservient. Now you're the follower. She's the one leading you, the one leading the relationship, the one leading the family. If you're a guy in this situation, I'm sorry, you know, or married anyway. If you're married in a situation, I can't extend my sorrow enough to you, but I hope you find your way out of that. But yeah, just to reiterate, the way that she is raised and people that she is influenced by growing up is going to be one of the main contributing factors as to how she's going to turn out in the future. Now, this isn't always going to be like the main determining factor, but it is one of the main ones. Trust me. Like, do your research on the woman that you're with better, know her family, and know her parents' dynamic. But like I said before as well, if she does not have a father figure in her life at all, that should be a for sure sign that you're signing up for something that's going to be dangerous. I'm just going to be honest. Like, if you're going for someone, a woman who does not have a strong male role model, father figure in her life, and to be honest, like, most importantly, her actual father, it's going to be a tough road. If anything, this is even more reason to get to know her family, yet her mother, just because if she does not have her father in her life, then that should tell you that her mother probably does not respect men's influence. And she's being raised underneath that mantra. If she is being raised with a mantra that her mom does not accept men's influence, it's only going to go down the rabbit hole. It's going to go down, like, to her daughter. And the cycle continues. And now you're signing up for a future to look exactly like the one that you grew up with. People tend to follow the same patterns that they grew up with. They tend to end up in the same spot as their parents. That's why people who are in poverty never, or like who grew up with poverty anyway, never really escape poverty. I'm going to be honest, like, it's just statistically proven. Like, if you're growing up in a certain condition in a certain way, you're likely going to end up in the same position. That's just how life is. I'm going to be honest, it's based off the data. And that's kind of how you should live your life. Just not entirely, like, you don't want to base your life off of numbers and data and all that stuff all the time, but sometimes it's important to look at how things can most likely end up and seeing if it's worth the risk. It's always risk versus reward. And sometimes the reward isn't worth it, or sometimes it's worth finding that reward somewhere that's more valuable, something that's actually like a lot more determinant, not something that's going to set you up for failure, especially something like this that can potentially ruin your life in the long run. So these are just a few of the reasons as to why the male role is degrading in relationships. To be honest, like, the overarching thing is just men's acceptance of bad behavior. Don't accept the bad behavior, but there's ways to see the bad behavior coming before you actually get to the point of no return. If you're a married man in this position, then I really do suggest that you get yourself out of that situation. Take that as you will. But if you're having any trouble with anything, feel free to message me on my Instagram, Media's Visionary. We can talk about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.